fancy gentleman crossing the street. I wish I had a shirt like that. What is going on, Cup Bangers? Today is March the 22nd, 2016. We haven't done this in a while, so you know what? Let's talk about cars, yo. Hit it, Pedro. Ah! In today's episode of Let's Talk About Cars, yo, let's talk about the new VIPER ACR that I just got after fucking shooting banging gears and having a blast with it on the track. My God, yes. These beautiful ACR. All right, specs, let's get them out of the way. It's a massive 8.4 liter V10 engine on the front that produces 645 horsepower and gets the car from 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds. Jesus, holy motherfucking Christ. That is fast for a manual car and for a car this big, actually. And it's obviously a 6-speed manual transmission, and it weighs under 3,400 pounds, which is pretty damn good for this car. It actually feels lighter when you drive it. Now, let's talk about the one thing that everyone mentions whenever you mention ACR, which is,
ooh, look at all the lap records that the car has. It breaks the record on every track. Ooh, if a real driver can drive it so fast.
Number one, let's just get the record straight. Who are the drivers going around these circuits and putting up these numbers on a lap time, right? It's awesome. I understand it. For competition, that makes sense. But there's not like a procedure like or someone regulating everything. So whenever you see Lamborghini posting an under 7-minute lap time on the ring, you have to ask yourself, why is that? When this car is breaking all the records that the 918 and all the other cars are doing, you got to wonder why. The reason why is there's a lot of tinkering in the car, within the cars that the car makers do, and they don't say anything. And they also grab the most crazy balls to the wall drivers that can do shit that nobody else can, that have the biggest balls in the universe. Are you one of those drivers? Because if you're measuring times, then there has to be a standard. So that to me is not really as important instead of how big of a show it makes. Does that make sense? So this car, everyone's saying, oh, it's beating everything on the track. Oh, it's breaking records. It's probably breaking a record as I make this video right now, if we honestly look at it. But we don't know why. By the way, I now own it. I've driven it. I pushed it really hard. I understand how fast it is on fast circuits because of how nimble and how aggressive it is with the turns. Oh my God, the amount of braking! I understand that. I understand that tires make a big difference, and I understand that aero makes a big difference. I'm telling you guys, there's no way on earth this thing is even close to what a P1, a Koenigsegg, a 918, a LaFerrari can do. It's not even close on a straight line. And obviously those cars have all the aero also to grab corners and some other technology added to them. So don't let that be the reason why you want to buy one of these cars. You want to buy it because, and let me tell you why I wanted to buy this car. So we shot an episode of Banging Gears where we put this thing against the 918 to actually figure out if the car was really that fast. After driving it, first of all, I've always wanted a VIPER, and I was never man enough to say, you know what, I'm going to buy the VIPER because I know what I'm doing. I was always scared, and everyone tells you, you know, when you're about to buy a car, dude, be careful. And when too many people look at you dead in the eye and they say, be careful, and you really don't know what you're getting into, it's scary. So I passed on that. But the reason why I liked it so much is once I started going on the track and I grabbed my first turn, I realized this was something special. This was nothing like those VIPERs that they used to tell you stories about, that the back tires are just going to break loose and then good luck, Alejandro, go fuck yourself. None of that was the impression that I got, like literally within just driving the car for 3 or 4 turns around the track. It was actually a whole different experience. It reminded me a lot of the RS, except it felt like it had more traction. Yeah, you're driving the car. This car produces one of the biggest amounts of downforce, if that's even a sentence that you can put together, out there. It puts up more downforce than the McLaren P1. Yeah, it's thanks to the massive wing on the back. It's thanks to the splitter on the front, the things on the blades on the side. The suspension can be adjusted in 10 different ways. Same with the aero. I haven't put the Aero Extreme kit on mine yet because I just got the car and I haven't had a chance. And I've been driving it in the city. I'm going to do it next time I take it to the track. But Jesus Christ, I mean, it's simple to understand why people think this car can be so fast, or why the car is actually that fast. But that is not why I fell in love with it. I fell in love with it because it's a hard car to drive. It's not as easy as getting in your RS and saying, all right, here we go, let's go around the track, no problem, and put it in automatic, like the car make all the decisions for you. This is more of a different beast because when the back snaps, and it does, it'll throw you out, man. And that thing is fucking scary because there's no going back from that snap. It's a really, really strong one. I'm not going to say how I know this, but I know. Other reasons why I love the car is the adjustability. I think this car has more settings and needs a lot more work than what I'm used to. That means I'm gonna get to learn more about suspension. I'm gonna get to learn more about air. I'm gonna get to learn more about manual and how to properly downshift and everything on fast corners. Because yeah, hill towing is easy when you're on the streets and like fucking around, but when you're on the track and you're trying to set up like the best time possible, it doesn't become that easy anymore. Everything changes. Other thing that I love about it, aside from it making me grow as a driver, is how special it feels compared to everything else within the sector. What else can you buy for $140,000 that will do what this car does? Nothing. And how does it look and everything? Yeah, it's got one of the worst sound systems you've ever heard in your life. I mean, literally, putting your iPhone on and just starting to play a couple songs is going to do you way more of a favor than using the sound system here. And it's also very, very stiff. The car is not one of those easy cars to just put on comfort mode. It's not. It's got 10 levels of adjustment to the suspension, and none of those offer a very comfortable ride. So, Alejandro, why do you want that car? It doesn't make sense. Well, aside from being a collection of numbers and a collection of epic shit that the car can do, it also did one thing that opened my eyes. Aside from putting the smile on my face and everything, it demolished the Bugatti and it demolished the Huayra. You guys realize that $150,000 car shoot the Bugatti, which is $3 million.
We're talking about the Bugatti
and the
here.
Huayra.
We do not.
And again, not everything is about track times, but come on. You're spending $2 to $3 million in either one of those cars. At least US market, European market, 1.3 on a Huayra and 2 million in a Bugatti right now, like on a super sport like that, or 2.5 million euros. I don't know. There's that guilt of buying something that is promising you so much that can't deliver any of it, you know? And Pagani was mad as hell at me because they said there's no way your car could have did those times. You should have had this tire. You should have had... Well, the car came like that, and that's how the car came, and that's what it was able to do the way it came. So this Viper did what it did the way it came. So again, that's just stupid. I wanted to tell you what the reasons are I bought this Viper and why I love it so much. Like, super simple. Number one, a manual. Yeah. Number two, V10. Number three, adjustability. Number four, the price. The price, son. At $140,000, this thing is a deal, but I can also fuck with it. This is one of those cars that jumps and falls into my price range, and I'm sorry to say this, of cars that I can fuck with. I can change the wheels, I can change the something, I can change the suspension, I can add an exhaust, I can do a couple mods, I can play, I can crash it on the track and not worry so much about it. I am lucky as fuck to be able to say that and do that, and this is why I wanted this car. I wanted to have some real car racing fun out there. And I think if any car is going to do it, it's going to be this one, right? At the price range again. Other things I love about it, there's Alcantara everywhere. Even though the sound system is terrible, it's actually very good. And I don't mean the sound system. I mean the way everything works. It's very easy to figure out. It's just like in the Hellcat. It's got apps, it's got media. You can plug in your shit through USB, Bluetooth, everything. The AC, not that great. The car is stiff. Very, very stiff. Stiffer than me when I was 15 years old. I promise. And that shit was stiff, son. But the looks of it, the everything just makes up for everything, and it just makes sense. Do you want to drive this as your daily? The answer is always going to be no. You don't want to drive this as your daily. But for those that have the balls, for those that want to drive it as a daily, I think it's doable. You just need to work on your back muscles and maybe your ass and some other powers that will make it not go numb. But overall, I'm loving my ACR. I cannot wait to take it again to thermal and put it against some cars that you guys will enjoy, I hope. So in summary, the reason why I ended up buying this car was to be a better driver and put a big smile on my face while I do that. This is what that car is going to accomplish. Again, Cup Bangers, thank you so very much for joining me today. I cannot wait to share penis points with you. That might happen actually in the next video, so be ready for it. Be so goddamn ready for it. And alright, Cup to the Bangers, let's do this Ask Alejandro thing that we always do on Twitter. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, make sure to follow me on Twitter so that I can annoy you in another social platform. And my handle is appearing somewhere on the screen. I've never known how this works or how people do that. But Here we go. Let's go with number 1. Question number 1 comes from my man, Rojo. That's not your real name, dude, by the way. Ha! Whose name is Rojo? Is the ACR a car you can drive in the city or more fitting to the canyons or track? Probably more fitting to the canyons or track, dude. This thing is stiff, loud, annoying. It drones, but it's awesome. But not for everyday driving. That's for goddamn sure. At least not for me. Numero dos, Fergo314 says, is your goal with Banging Gears to actually get it on TV? It was originally our goal, and then we realized that it would be a huge mistake to put it on TV. And the reason why is, right now, for example, Top Gear and all of those guys are putting together their seasons, right? And they're spending $3 to $7 million an episode. Huge budgets that they're dealing with. So they have the time. They put all of their episodes together. They shoot them, and then a year later, we get to see them. By the time all of these cars come out, by the way, they're going to be a little old, and people like my asshole self are already going to have reviews on them online, and a lot of it gets lost in that. We do not want to just put a shitty review and say, oh, that's that. But when it comes to crazy stuff that we want to do, like the Holy Trinity against basically everything on earth, no, we cannot put it on TV. So what we're going to try to do is get sponsors to pay for the show so that the end users, which is you guys, don't pay for it, and we don't have to keep paying out of pocket. Because I'd like to not be broke. That'd be great. The next question comes from a man, Vahu, or Veichu. Whatever, however you pronounce it, depending on where you live, obviously. And the question was the ACR really worth getting, even though you already had the 4.0 for destroying a few lap times? Yeah, because the 4.0 is not as challenging as this one. This is a whole different thing. The 4.0 is very much a Porsche perfection, if you will. This is like a whole different beast. It's going to take a lot of time and a long time before I actually get good at anything in this thing. So, yeah, it was worth getting. 100%. This is a beast, man. A fucking beast. My boy, Jesus, or Jesus, Fiero. I think it's Jesus. I'm pretty sure it's Jesus. Why isn't your Banging Gears a show like on Discovery or on some TV channel, Alejandro? Honestly, the reason why it's not is because of timing. If we put it on TV, it's going to take a long time before you guys see the episodes, and we just want to give them to you as fast as possible. You know, a lot of media, and by the way, I come from that background where we make movies, and the way I started back in the day was, if you didn't make it to theaters, you were a joke. Now it's like, if you don't make it to DVD, you're a joke. And now it was like, if you don't get your shit to iTunes and all of the VOD platforms, then you're a joke. And now if you're putting shit on YouTube, you're a joke. And then it was like, oh, if your shit didn't get like 100,000 views, you were a joke. Everything is changing so fast. I don't think you need the big platform of the TV, because that's going to disappear. I think your Apple TV is going to turn into your TV, but that's not here nor there. We just want to give you the full experience and the full enchilada up front, my man. So hope you're in for the ride. Boom. Now, Tyler Fedorich, do you spend more money on weed or on cars? Great question. Cars. I don't think there's enough weed you can buy to spend the amount of these cars. Well, never mind. There probably is. But no, no. On to the next question. My man Ricky is asking, what cars are you going to be using on the next episode of Banging Gears, and is there going to be a new location? First of all, there's another episode that's going to come out soon that we shot in Geneva with the Iconic 6CX, the Maserati MC12, and a Pagani Zonda F. So you're going to see that takes place in Geneva. Now, as far as us moving a track and take place in another place, yeah, we're actually going to go to Dubai, Abu Dhabi. We're going to play, hopefully, in Yas Marina if everything goes well. And also, let me tell you the cars. I don't want to spoil it, but we have the Holy Trinity going against something that you might enjoy. Yeah. And that's it for this section. Thank you so very much for your questions. If you guys ever have any questions or want to tweet at me, please do with the hashtag AskAlejandro. That helps me find those tweets way easier, and I don't think there's a lot of morons with my name that want to do that. So, yeah. Thank you so much.